welcome to the garage. Sit back, relax, and check out some of our ideas for camping to modular upholstery for your off-road vehicle. Okay, so today with the Jeep, I added a high amperage connector here. So basically what this is this is wired to the battery, and it's got this right here, this red one's wired to the battery, and it runs number 2 wire that goes to this. And the slick thing about these connectors, this is a dual power connector is what they call it, and basically what it consists of is a plastic case like this. It's got a couple holes in it so you can bolt it down. You can see this one's been bolted through the bumper to stay where it's at. I use, basically I buy black wire by the spool, and I just indicate it with shrink wrap as to what's positive and what's negative on both ends. So this is just 3/4 inch heat shrink, obviously cooked onto that. And then this is actually what slides inside there, and it's just a little metal piece. It's a little, it's the outlet piece, and you solder your wire in here. That's what I do. I guess you can probably crimp it, but peel your wire, stick it in here, solder it. I'll do a little video on that at some point. And then this size is good for 175 amps. Now the slick thing about these in general is that colors work together. So like my yellow one will not work on my red connector. It won't fit. You can't mismatch. So, but if we take my red connector, I can plug this in. I can plug this in to that connector just fine. Same thing, yellows match yellows and reds match reds, and they just pull out. And basically, what I use this for is a number of things. One, I've got a set of jumper cables. You can see them right here. That is number 4 wire jumper cables, and I keep a red end on it. And the red connectors in the front, high amperage 12 volt connector. And then they make some other ones that are different sizes, and you can see right here that this is about half the size, or quarter the size, probably a third the size of the higher amperage connectors. And this is they consider this a 50 amp connector. So basically I'll take stuff that I'm going to run like number 8 wire to and use this as my plug. It is the same thing as this, just in miniature. And it's a pretty slick deal, because basically this stuff is protected. You can't get in there and get anything shocked or anything like that. And you can plug a lot of different stuff into it. So like this is going to be for my dual battery box, for my backup battery. It's got a yellow one. And basically what I'm doing with my backup battery is I want a battery that can move from vehicle to vehicle. I've had a second battery wired into my Cherokee forever, but because we take the Jeep a lot now, we take the JK a lot now, I want to be able to move that battery from one to the other. So I'm going to wire the backup battery on the yellow connector, and I'm going to wire like I said, this is the main outlet for the front. Now I can also run power inverter, like a large power inverter. So if I want to run a refrigerator or something like that, I can run it off of this. I can put a 3,000 watt power inverter on this, plug it in here. Now obviously I have to have enough alternator and battery to pull all that, but the connection will work for that. So if my power goes out, I can basically use my car as my backup generator temporarily. Now I have a small little inverter, I'm going to show you some other time, that I use this little connector for, which is a little 50 amp. It plugs in and goes on like that. And the slick thing is, like I said, there's no question when somebody's hooking this up to your battery, you don't have to worry about them getting in there and getting confused either by your wiring or the factory's wiring and doing something stupid. This plugs straight in. You've got positive, positive, negative, negative, and then you can move on. The other thing you can do with this too is on your winch, instead of running your winch clear back to the battery, you could actually run your winch cable right into this. Now mine's wired in the battery because I didn't have this outlet put in here first. But at some point I'm probably going to change that. And I'm actually going to run the winch cable straight into the, run my winch plug into this, so that I've got 2 separate things. And then I've got some extra terminals and stuff in the up by the battery that everything goes into. I'll show you that on another one when we do some soldering and adding some different pieces parts. But anyway, that's the 12 volt dual connector here that we've got mounted to the front of the JK. And thanks for stopping by the garage and checking out what we're doing.